So what's happening from 5:45 to 6:04 p.m. That's the most crucial part of the maneuver, of the landing. Sneha Murdani is getting us more on that. I'd like to toss this across to her in the studio.
Right. Hi Akshata, hope you're doing well and getting us all the updates. As far as that big moment at 4 minutes past 6 is concerned, certainly all fingers crossed. But Akshata referred to the 15 minutes of terror. What are those 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes of terror? At about 5:45 or so, the landing sequence will begin. This is just before, the last 15 minutes or so, the braking and the altitude holding, which is absolutely crucial during this time. The landing actually begins when Vikram is 25 kilometers or so from the moon. That's how close it will be to the moon when the landing is going to begin. The lander to turn still for 10 seconds, just about 10 seconds at about 7.4 kilometers from the moon. That's when the lander is going to be turning still. Also, the Vikram, the lander, then descends to 6.8 kilometers closer as it gets to the moon. And that's where the excitement really builds up. And that is, in fact, a time that's going to keep everybody very, very tense. The braking phase begins 6.4 kilometers from the moon, just about less than 7 kilometers from the moon when the braking phase is going to begin, hoping for a soft landing there. About 2.9 minutes later, that's how precise this operation is going to be, Vikram reaches altitude of about 800 meters. That's how this is going to move forward in the last 15 minutes of terror. The lander hovers for about 12 seconds, reaches the altitude of 150 meters. So that's how close it's going to be to the moon, and that's how difficult it's going to be as far as the final descent is concerned. The most crucial part of the landing is certainly the terminal descent, which everybody is going to have their eyes very, very firmly on. Vikram checks suborders, craters and other obstacles. So to see if the road really is clear for that very smooth landing, which is absolutely mandatory right there. So this is how the last 15 minutes of terror or so going to look like.
Thanks very much, Sneha. Breaking down there for you all the details of what plays out in 15 minutes. There are 4 phases, essentially, that have been identified as Isro. Each of them extremely crucial, that will determine whether the Chandrayaan-3 mission has been a success or not. It all culminates to this very moment, less than 8 hours to go for that 15 minutes, which will decide whether Chandrayaan's journey for the last 40 days to the moon has been worth it or not. And here on India Today, we're getting you all the latest updates. We're also focusing on the mood across the country, sending across a billion good wishes to our ISRO scientists.